Hello everybody, my name is ProfRich, and today we're looking at future tenses in English. We're looking at all the future tenses, and we'll be looking at other ways of expressing the future in English as well. This is the most comprehensive lesson on future tenses you'll ever find in your life, and it's certainly the most enjoyable and the most fun on the internet and on YouTube and in the entire universe. So smash that like button right now and let's get started with a quiz. The quiz is true or false, and I'd like you to type in the chat which ones you think are true and which ones you think are false. And we'll start with number one. Will is the most common way to refer to the future plans in English. We're just going to take out the there. So, will is the most common way to refer to future plans in English. Number two, will always refers to the future. And number three, will is normally pronounced wheel. So, type your answers in the chat, true or false. And if you think that one of those is false, can you correct it? So, can you make it into a correct sentence? And welcome to everyone joining us today in the live chat. Today we are looking at the future tenses in English. And we're going to look at future simple, future perfect, future continuous. And we are also going to look at some other ways of expressing the future in English, like present simple, gonna, present continuous, and so on. And I'm going to just turn my monitor off. That's not what I meant to do. I'm just going to fix that. This is brilliant. Now I'm just staring at a black screen and hoping that nothing goes horribly wrong. And we're back. Is everything still working? Oh, not quite. My camera has gone bizarre. Let's fix that. Okay. All right, and we are back. So, hello there to some of our regulars. We got Manjula, Daisy, Julia, Manuel Gordillo. Hello to Maria Elena Quarrath. Hello to Anawat. Hello, Elena Anisimova. Hello, Renit. Hello, Hint. And hello, Vladimir. Thank you to all the people who submitted their homework. We will be correcting that later on. Or certainly correcting might be the wrong word, but we are going to listen to it and talk about it. So let's see what you guys think about these statements. So Manuel thinks that 1 and 2 are true, but 3 is false. So that's interesting. And YouTube is complaining about my internet. I don't know why. Let me know if you experience any problems with this. Sleepwalker also says 1 and 2 are true and 3 is false. And Anawat says 1 and 2 are true and 3 is false. So everyone thinks that 1 and 2 are true. Will is the most common way to refer to future plans in English. So if you perform an analysis of corpora, so corpora means like a collection of language, a big collection of language in use, for example, then you do find that will is the most common way of referring to the future. That's true. However, it's not the most common way of referring to future plans. Certainly not in spoken English anyway. Gonna is the most common way of referring to future plans in English. So that one was false. Number 2, will always refers to the future. That is totally false. I don't know why you thought that was true. Will can refer to the future, the present, and the past. Okay. I'll type in the chat now examples. So, in the present, here's an example in the present. My cats are great. When I get home, they'll climb on my lap and they'll purr away all night. So that's an example of using will in the present, and an example of using will in the past. Who killed him? It'll have been the butler for sure. It will have been the butler for sure. There's an example of using will for the past. So, in fact, you can use will for the present and the past as well. Ta-da! And these are the things that we're going to talk about today. Finally, number 3, will is normally pronounced wheel. No. No, it is not. Will is normally pronounced wool, or sometimes it's pronounced Okay, so it's normally pronounced wool or certainly not wheel. So in fact, all 3 were false. Well done for that, folks. Well done. YouTube really drives me crazy with these errors. I don't know what I can do about it. I'm just going to quickly stop and start my video, see what happens. Just one moment there. Okay, so we should be back. I'm not getting the error now, so that's wonderful. Daisy says, I never use will in that structure. Yeah, it must have been the butler, or it'll have been the butler. People do say it, Daisy. The point really is to just prove that will can be used for many different things. All right, so here's our plan for today, folks. We can take a look at that. So, the plan today, we'll be talking about myths about will. We've done that. That was our quiz that we started with. Then we're going to look at future tense forms. We're going to look at uses of the future simple. We will look at future simple versus future continuous versus future perfect. We will look at some futuristic vocabulary. And then we're going to practice with future predictions. So, to start us off, let's have a look at a grammar table. Everybody loves grammar tables. I'm going to show you a grammar table with the affirmation, the negation, and the question for future simple, future continuous, and future perfect. And I want you to form the affirmation, the negation, and the question. So here's our grammar table. And if you don't like grammar tables, well done. Because you shouldn't like grammar tables, they suck. But let's have a look anyway. Here's a lovely grammar table. Everybody loves grammar tables. You can see here for future simple in the affirmation, we have subject plus ul, or will if you prefer, plus infinitive. So he'll go to the park tomorrow. I'll have a coffee, please. There's our affirmation. So I want you to form the negation, the question for future simple, and carry on down the table here. At the bottom, you can see the pieces of the puzzle that are available to you. We have the subject, we have ul or will, we've got infinitive, participle, we have won't, be, have, and ing. And I have a bonus question for you. Let me bring my face back and then shrink a little. Bong. So I'm still here. Hi, everybody. I'm here. And I've got a lovely coffee today. I'm just going to top that up. I'll tell you what. I saw something that I would quite like as a Christmas present. And it's a smart cup. It's a cup that keeps your drink warm. I love it. Then you don't need to rush. You don't need to rush drinking anymore. Fantastic. Hello, Sanjan. Nice of you to join us. Welcome, welcome. And hello to Cat Meow Meow. I can't remember if Cat is the person who I teach in real life or if that was another person. Hey, it's Gustavo. How you doing, Gustavo? It's good to see you. And Anawat helpfully put in the IPA for will. Personally, I don't normally say it like that, Anawat. I normally say it as will, like that, will, which is quite peculiar if you think about it. Will. Will he go? Will he go? So let me help you a little bit with this because I can see that people are struggling somewhat. So for the negation, we're going to start with the subject, of course, and we're not going to make that bold. And we are going to capitalize the S. So we've got subject. And then after that, we, of course, have won't. So he won't. And then finally, we'll have the infinitive. So that actually is just perfect for our negation of future simple. I'll have a coffee. I won't have a coffee. Thank you. Anawat's coming in with number 3. That is... Oh, the future continuous, eh? Nice. We're there already. Did anyone do number 2? Did I miss it? Will, subject, infinitive, sleepwalker. Well done, sleepwalker. That looks pretty good to me. So we got will. We're going to capitalize our W because it's the start of the sentence. Will. Then we'll have our subject. And we'll make that a small s because it's not the start of the sentence. And then we'll put the infinitive. And let's have a question mark there as well. Just to totally mess up my table. Let's have a question mark. Will I have a coffee? Will he have a coffee? Will you have a coffee? Will you join me for the party tonight? Oh, yes, I will. I would love to. I would love to join you, actually. Who wouldn't want to join you for the party? Parties are fantastic, aren't they? There we go. That's better. Hello, I'm bigger. Oh, it's too good. It's too good. It's just, I wish it was just a bit hotter. You know, it's like I've taken my time drinking it and now it's too cold. I need like a thermal cup or something. I'm going to have to look into this. So Julia coming in with the answer there. Future continuous, subject plus will plus be plus gerund. Yeah, gerund. So the ing form can be called a gerund. However, a gerund is when the verb functions as a noun. So actually, this is not the gerund because be plus ing is not be plus noun. It's be plus present participle. And the present participle is not the gerund. This is why I don't use the word gerund and I don't use the word present participle. I just use ing form. Makes more sense to me to just say ing form. So it's not actually the gerund. Domenico says, you may not believe it if I told you that lately I've been exerting enormous pressure on my mouth, resulting in several bites scattered inside it. What have you been doing, Domenico? Try not to bite your cheeks. So, should we have some answers? Are you ready for some answers? We've got future continuous. So in the positive, starting with subject, bong. In the negative, starting also with subject, and in the question, starting with will. And actually, we can repeat that for the future perfect as well. So that's the same all the way down. And then for future continuous, we're going to say be. No, are we? Sorry. No, we need subject there. Oops. And we need will there. Oh my God. Rich making a fool of himself. There we go. It's a bit better, isn't it? This is where we have our be. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? And we can do something very similar here with the future perfect. Great. And then, for the future continuous, we're going to end with ing. The last one with a question. And for the future perfect, we're going to end with the participle, which is the past participle. The past participle, not the present participle. But for me, I never use the term present participle, so if I say participle, then it is the past participle. All right, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? So, of course, this is our form. And you can see that in my answer sheet. And you can see, actually, in my answer sheets here, I have used when possible. And, oh, God, I didn't use won't. This is quite embarrassing to do this live. There we go. That's a bit better, isn't it? People were probably screaming at their monitors for a second. What are you doing, you fool? Right. Where is future perfect continuous? Why haven't I included future perfect continuous? There's two reasons. Reason one, it didn't fit on my table. Reason two, we only use future perfect continuous for one very specific thing. I'll say that again. We only use future perfect continuous for one very specific thing. And that is to talk about something in the future that will already have started and to mention the duration of it. That is the only reason that we use the future perfect continuous. And I'll give you an example. Where can I put an example of the future perfect continuous? I need a blank sheet. Okay, no, we'll put it here. No, I can't put it there. I can't put it anywhere. I'm going to type it in the chat. An example of future perfect continuous. I'll have been cleaning the house for 35 minutes by the time you arrive. So you need to continue cleaning for 35 minutes after I stop, to be fair. So that's an example of how to use future perfect continuous. And it's the only reason to use it, is when you're talking about something that will start before a future time and you want to say the duration. So that's future perfect continuous. All right, moving on. So we did just focus on the form. And if you look at your screen now, you can see 6 examples of errors in form. So I'd like you to practice. Type in the chat the corrections for these errors. Type in the chat the corrections for these errors in form. These are what you could call grammar errors. English grammar errors. So in the chat, type your corrections for these English grammar errors. Future simple. Got a gunner as well, which looks a bit weird. Julia coming in straight away with an answer there. I'll tell you what, folks. I'm going to heat my coffee. Yeah, I'm gonna heat my coffee. I'll be 30 seconds, a minute. Hot coffee. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's see what we got here. So, well done to the people there in the chat who got this right. And Takeshi Zero has joined us. Hey, Takeshi, how you doing? And Hinyumon has joined us. Wonderful. So, first one. Remove the S. No big deal. If you want to get nice about it, if you want to get ProfRich points, then do that. He'll help you tomorrow. I'll go to the park with you. Will she like it? I think we'll win tomorrow. Will you have a coffee or tea? And I'll do it later. There's our corrections and there's my answers. Good day, mates. I'm not Australian, but good day. What's that? Is the contraction of will. So like you have can, not, can't, have, not, haven't, I am, I'm. Then we also have he will, he'll, I will, I'll, you will, you'll, they will, they'll, it will, it'll. And sometimes people actually use that kind of contraction with complex nouns and noun phrases as well, like the school will close this weekend, or this hot coffee will make me feel great. So people actually in spoken English, use the contraction ul, even when it's not a pronoun. Daisy, Rich number 2, what about I'll be going? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, Daisy. Yeah. Who will be going to the park with me? I'll be going to the park with you. I'll be going to the park with you. Yeah, it's okay. It is okay. I'll be studying with you. You won't be studying on your own. You won't be studying on your own. I'll be studying with you. All right. Are we ready to move on? I believe we are ready to move on. So now I'm going to blow your mind. We're going to look at all of the uses of the future tense in English with examples. So I'm going to list 11 uses of will in English. 11 uses of will. The future simple, primarily. And I want you to match the use with the example. Match the use with the example. So that's 1 to 11 with the examples A to K. And unfortunately, there's not really a lot of room on the screen for me here. Do we have any graphic artists in our community? Kat says, what about would? The contraction of would is d. So I would, I'd. Would is not technically the future simple. However, you can often use would in the same ways as will, but it has a different meaning. So as we can say, I'll be studying with you. You could say, I would be studying with you. And it has a different meaning. It's not what we're focusing on today, Kat. So I don't really want to dive into it because it would take a while to explain about that. Maybe we could do that at a future stream. If that's something that you would like, then please join our chat server. That's bit.ly/englearnchat. The link is a pinned comment in the chat. Join our chat server and you can make requests for future streams, and users in the community will vote on those requests. I am more than happy to do lessons on whatever you'd like to know. Everybody knows I hate grammar. It is not the way I teach, but I'm doing it because it's popular. People like it. So, let's talk about grammar, because this is the thing. I hate teaching grammar, but actually, I'm a grammar expert. I can grammar you all day. You want to talk grammar? I'll talk grammar with you. Oh yes, I will talk grammar with you. I know a lot about grammar. I love looking at grammar. I love talking about grammar. I just don't necessarily think it's the best way to learn English, but I like it. So if you want grammar, bring it on. See, it's I do think it really does epitomize the utility of grammar when you see someone like Daisy, who is a highly proficient English speaker, and, she doesn't like grammar. And also Manuel Gordillo, not the biggest grammar fan, and he's only been learning really English for a short time, but speaks very, very fluently, very well, really, considering. And then, of course, you do have people who are obsessed by grammar and love it. And hey, whatever helps. Whatever helps. If you do like grammar, let's learn about it, because if you like it, it does help. If you like it, if you like grammar, if you want to talk about future simple, future continuous, future perfect, it does help. But the point is, it's not necessary. Anyway, today is a grammar class, so I'm going to stop ranting about it. I keep clipping. Maybe I need to move my microphone further away. Sorry if you can hear my mic clipping. What about grandpa? What about grandpa? Is it true that British grammar is more complicated than American grammar? Actually, Daisy, I may concede that that is true. And the primary reason for that is that in British English, we often use present perfect for situations where the Americans use past simple. For example, I just did it, or I've just done it. So in British English, we often say, I've just done it, or I've already done it, to talk about past events with just, already, and yet. But the Americans prefer to use past simple, and that is actually easier to deal with. And it's easier to explain as well as a teacher. But that's the only real difference. There's a few other minimal differences, but that's the only major difference. So although British grammar is slightly more complicated, it's just that. It's just, already, yet. That's all it is. It's nothing too fancy. I mean, it's a B1 issue, Daisy. So anyone who's beyond B1, it doesn't matter anymore. You know, at C1, there's very little difference in what you're learning. The bigger difference would be in pronunciation and vocabulary. And even then, there's not a lot of that. So we have a range of answers coming in now. Sleepwalker has come up with quite a comprehensive answer. 1B, 3D, 7A. Let's have a look at some of these. 1B looks good to me. 3D. Yeah, that looks pretty good. 7A. 7A? No. No. Not 7A. What's Manuel put 7I? Yes, that's right. Smash that like button. Doing. Well done, Manuel. 7I. I'm going to give you just another 2 minutes to match these. And wouldn't this be a wonderful time to have an advertisement? So Domenico says, yes, Rich, I've noticed this stark difference between British English and American English. As for me, I've maintained the grammar that I learned when I studied English in Liverpool. Stark difference. I'm not sure that I would call it a stark difference. Oh, thank you, Kat. I do appreciate that. YouTube doesn't actually value the like button very much anymore. The primary value, there's two things that YouTube really likes. They like it when you click a recommended video, and then they like it if you watch a long time. They're the things that they really like. The like button is kind of a distant third, but the big things are click and then watch. They love that. That's the big deal now. And Daisy got an advertisement about writing a fiction novel. There you go, Daisy. Yeah, in 10 years ago, they used to love the like button, but it's still important. But watch time, it's all about watch time. Watch time is super important now. And thumbnails, so important. Okay, one more minute, folks, then I'm going to show you the answers. And while we wait for that minute, let's end our poll. So, the results of our poll should appear in a minute. Do YouTube really pay? Yeah. Yeah, they pay. I'm currently earning £5 a month. Really? That's what I'm earning from YouTube right now. £5 per month. Now, the electricity probably costs me for streams per month probably about £10. So on just the electricity, I'm making a loss of £5 a month from YouTube. That's not including the hours and hours and hours of work that I put in to the streams, the preparation, and the years of building up the channel. So the amount that YouTube's paying me right now is not that interesting, let's say. Don't think I'll be quitting my job anytime soon. But feel free to send me a coffee. There is a donation link in the chat if you want to say thank you to me, to Rich. Thank you, Rich. And if you do that, you can send me a message on Discord, and you can either send a message that you want me to read out on stream, or you can make a request for a future stream, and I will do it if you tip me. So I want to thank Manuel Gordillo and Domenico Lafauci, who have both tipped twice, I think. So thank you very much for that. I think someone else did as well, actually. Let me just check my records. All of your tips are recorded. Yeah, big tips from Domenico Lafauci. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Domenico. Please don't feel that you have to do that, by the way. You certainly do not have to tip me, right? Only do it if you have the money available. Okay. As you can see, I have a house. You know, I'm okay. I'm not living on the street, but obviously it is appreciated. And Anawat, £5 tip. Thank you, Anawat. I appreciate that. So thank you, folks, for that. I do appreciate it. All right, folks, let's have a look at the answers. Thank you very much for those who have tried to answer. And here's our answers. This is our full table here. And I'm going to disappear just so it looks really good on the thumbnail. And people can click on that and go, ooh, look at that. Because I've noticed people do that. They have a look through the stream for things like this and they go, wow, that looks good. So hello, everyone. Hello, everyone who's on the internet now and watching this video and clicking on this bit. So these are all the uses of the future simple matched to the examples. Just go through those and ensure that you had the correct answers. You can see the form at the top, subject plus will plus infinitive. And I have a question for you. This is a bonus question. Why are these red? Why are these blue? Why are all these purple? So why are these together? Why are these together? And why are these together? Answers in the chat. What's going on with the colours? What's going on with the colours? Kat says, what's a tip? Like a donation? That's right, Kat. So when you go to a restaurant and you have a nice meal, sometimes you leave £5 after you go. You leave £5 for the waiter, for the person who's serving you, and that's called a tip. I've just reduced my volume because my mic has been clipping all stream. It's embarrassing. Daisy, that's definitely not true. If you fashion videos and stuff like that, you make loads of money if you're popular. I will continue to make YouTube videos. There's a number of reasons, actually, which really make me compelled to continue making YouTube videos. Reason number one, I like it. And it's nice to do something you like that has the potential to make money. Number two, I think that most YouTube teachers are rubbish. I'm sorry to be unprofessional about it, but I really don't think they're very good. And as long as they're out there making loads of money and calling themselves influencers, they really do that, by the way. There's a YouTube teacher out there that I know several of you watch. I'm not going to say who it is, but she signs off her emails as influencer. And frankly, that makes me feel a bit sick in my stomach. If you're a teacher, be a teacher. Don't call yourself an influencer. It's disgusting behavior, frankly, in my opinion. Bloody influencer. That's my rant of the day, folks. Not going to say who it is, obviously. Any questions? Oh, we'd love to interview Rachel, Daisy. Yeah, that'd be great. We will get in touch with her. We've just been super busy. I don't know if you've noticed, but ELT Under the Covers is now monetized. So that channel has actually been doing really well. So we're really busy. We're just so busy with that one. We've got loads of people who want to come on now. So it's interesting. Ashley Chen, content creator would be okay. Content creator is fine. I mean, that content creator is just descriptive, isn't it? It's great. It's just this idea of influencer. Do you know what that means? That means you're influencing people, right? Do you want to be influenced by me, folks? It sounds manipulative. At best, it's marketing. But at worst, it's quite creepy, actually. I can influence people to believe stuff and to buy stuff. I'm not going to talk any more about this because it's getting a bit negative. Who do you think is the best YouTube after Oxford and your own channel? You know, Rennet, the thing is, I haven't explored very much, but there's a Canadian guy. Is he called Brian or something? He's quite good. I quite like him. There's an English guy, a bald guy who does IELTS videos a lot. He smiles a lot. He's quite good. But I haven't actually explored a lot. I did see one channel once that basically I 100% agreed with everything they said, but they weren't very popular. All right, shall we move on then to the next thing here? So I want everyone to imagine that you're planning to build a house in the future. Imagine that you're planning to build a house in the future. Let's make some predictions about that house. So here's your house. This is Daisy's house. Daisy's just moved into a new house that they had built, I think, or something. I don't know. Sorry, I shouldn't be using personal information, should I? I just made that up, everybody. That's not true. This is Manuel's house that he just built. So here's a house, a future house. Let's make some predictions about that house. Here's a prediction about that house. In 2025, we'll build a house. You can see here my graphical representation of that. 2025, which is here. And this is the event, we'll build a house. I want you to choose the correct option. 1, we'll build it in that year. 2, it will be in progress in 2050. What? In 2025. Or 3, it will be finished at some time before 2025. So choose the correct option there, 1, 2, or 3. What do you think is the correct option? 1, 2, or 3? So, interesting that a lot of people are going for 3 there. I'm not really sure why. The correct answer is, in fact, 1. You will build it in that year, as in 2025. That's when you will build it, in that year. So the correct answer is number 1, and that is the future simple. Okay, moving on. We got the future continuous in 2050 now. What? Consistency, Rich. Consistency, please. In 2025, we'll be building a house. And once again, I'd like you to choose the correct option. 1, 2, or 3. Take a look at those. What do you think? Only one of them is correct. So a lot of people going for 2 this time, and you are right. It will be in progress in 2025. That's the future continuous. Well done. What's the 2x on the arrow? So the green X is the start of the action. The wavy line, the blue line, is the ongoing action. And the purple X is the end of the action. So we can see that the action starts before the point here. It's in progress during 2025, and it ends after that point. So that is the future continuous. All right, and here is the future perfect. And let's make it consistent by changing the date again, 2025. So by 2025, we'll have built a house. What do you think about that one? So, Kat, you probably get it now. When you look at it, it probably makes a bit more sense. Look at the picture. And by the way, the start of this arrow is now. So the very start is now. And then we go into the future. And obviously everyone's saying 3, and you are, of course, right. It will be finished at some time before 2025. Let me ask you a question. Do we know the time? Do we know when? Do we know when exactly it will be finished? Do we know that? Answers in the chat. What do you think? Do we know when? And Sleepwalker's got it. No, we don't know when, but before 2025, you're correct. So there we have all of the future tenses together. Future simple, future continuous, and future perfect. There's a lovely graphical representation. Take out your cameras and your screenshots now and share this with all your friends and family. Happy Christmas. Don't do that, actually, because I've messed up the dates again. Let me fix those. Damn it. Wonderful. There's your screenshot. I'll disappear so you can take a screenshot. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That took me 5 hours. No, not really. It didn't really take me 5 hours. But, yeah. It's grammar, folks. Grammar. Professor Rich. We're doing grammar. Future simple, future perfect, future continuous. Everybody's happy. Okay, so I did promise some vocabulary for the future, didn't I? So here you go, folks. Here's some vocabulary relating to the future. We have underwater cities, space colonization, 3D printing, biodegradable, lab-grown, hyperloop wireless, and climate engineering. I want you to match the vocabulary to the pictures. Match the vocabulary to the pictures. Very nice arrows. Oh, thank you very much. It took me 5 hours. Match the vocabularies to the pictures. Anawat says it's raining cats and dogs and probably elephants in the city where I live right now. I like that, Anawat. That's the best use of raining cats and dogs I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not joking. Good job. Maria del Carmen says hello and 8G. Nice. No, not 8G, actually. Ashley Chen 7B. Yes. Good job, Ashley. Good job. What's going on here? Great. Kat says, I can't see the pictures clearly. So, most likely, Kat, that is your internet. But you know what I can do? Is I can share with you the direct link to the notes. If you're watching on your phone, this won't be helpful for you. But if you're on a computer, you can open a new tab and then directly open up the notes. So anyone who wants to join with the notes for today? Actually, no, I can't share them yet. There's a secret thing coming up. It's blurry because of my network connection. So if you have a look at the YouTube options, that's the settings in the bottom right. Possibly you can change to lower quality. That might work. Or higher quality. Sorry, that would make more sense. So the answers, folks, are 1G, 2E, 3F, 4D, 5H, 6A, 7B, and 8C. So with the letters A, that's hyperloop. B, wireless. C, climate engineering. D, biodegradable. E, space colonization. F, 3D printing. G, underwater cities. And H, lab grown. So I want you to listen to the predictions and say if you agree or disagree, and say why or why not. Here comes the first prediction. Number 1. By 2050, engineers will have... Excuse me. By 2050, engineers will have completed several underwater cities, providing new living spaces for thousands. People will be living in these aquatic metropolises, experiencing life beneath the ocean's surface. By 2050, engineers will have completed several underwater cities, providing new living spaces for thousands. People will be living in these aquatic metropolises, experiencing life beneath the ocean's surfaces. What do you think, folks? Do you agree that this will happen by the year 2050? And I posted that in the chat. Maybe one small town. Hint says agree. Isn't there a science fiction movie about this? I seem to remember that there's like a famous sci-fi about underwater cities. Is it Jules Verne? Is that right? I feel like we need Pavia. Maybe Manuel knows this. Jules Verne, is it? Not enough time to explore underwater cities. What do you mean, Sleepwalker? Do you mean you don't have enough time for it, or what? How do people overcome water pressure? I don't know, Ashley. Lasers. Silos, but not underwater. Silos, but not underwater? What's the point in the silos? In the year 2525, we're still alive, we can see it. Sleepwalker says, for science. Yeah. What do we call it if I both disagree and agree? You more or less agree? Or you're not so sure? I'm not so sure. Or I kind of agree. Or I agree, but I don't agree. I don't know. What do you call that? Oh, I'm on the fence. You're on the fence, Kat. I'm on the fence about this one. Daisy says, I disagree because it would be expensive to use any material cheaper than titanium. Why would people live underwater? Because it's fun. Maybe because of the nuclear apocalypse. All right, let's move on. You ready for the next one? Number 2. In 2050, humanity will be continuously expanding its presence in space. Scientists and engineers will have established permanent bases on the moon and possibly Mars, where astronauts will be conducting research and perhaps even farming. I'll say that again. Humanity will be continuously expanding its presence in space in 2050. Scientists and engineers will have established permanent bases on the moon and possibly Mars, where astronauts will be conducting research and perhaps even farming. What do you think about that one, everybody? So Kat says, disagree. And Sleepwalker says, I agree. People have always been interested in space and competed with each other. No chance because Elon Musk isn't interested in living underwater. Rennet says, I think that'll be true. Do you see my pronunciation there, Rennet? I think that'll be true. I think that'll be true. I think that'll be true. I think that'll be... Excuse me. Pepper? Pepper? She's putting her bum in my face. I think the first astronauts living in space will be robots. Come and say hello then. Come on. Come and say hello. All right. Ow. Daisy says, I agree. Scientists are experimenting with planting crops in moon-like soil, such as volcanic ash. Pure Care says, when we're growing old, our ultimate goal should be religious, not on desire. Yeah, perhaps the word should be the Pure Care. The word should be spiritual. But yeah, sure. I agree with the paragraph, but it will be impossible to reach it in 2050. I don't quite know what you mean there, Manuel. If it's impossible to reach it, then how do you agree? All right, everybody, let's move on to the next one. Number 3. By 2050, most of the products we use on a daily basis will have become biodegradable. Companies will have developed a wide range of environmentally friendly materials, and consumers will be actively choosing products that decompose naturally. I'll say that again. By 2050, most of the products we use daily will have become biodegradable. Companies will have developed a wide range of environmentally friendly materials, and consumers will be actively choosing products that decompose naturally. So Manuel says, I agree. Could be achieved. And we have agree. Any other comments about that? Which most of the products. So what about, like, you think smartphones, you know, you have biodegradable smartphones? It's possible, but only in the richest countries. Yeah, well, the richest countries have also got the biggest weapons. So that means that they can point them at the other countries and say, you also need to do this. Can't they? And do they? I think they kind of do that, don't they? Sounds too good to be true, says Takeshi. Yeah, maybe. Kat has to go. Thank you for joining us, Kat, and have a lovely day. Daisy says, I disagree, because most people's income, it's because of so-called biodegradable products, tend to be more expensive. That's right. They will be more expensive, most likely. And it says, this thing is likely to happen, in my opinion. And Julia says, I wholeheartedly agree. People are highly likely to maintain the conservation and indulge in maintaining it. Interesting. All right. Okay, let's move on. Are you ready for this? Number 4. Wireless technology will have advanced to a point where almost all devices will be powered without physical connections. Homes and offices will be using wireless energy transfer, making cords and cables a thing of the past. I'll say that again. Wireless technology will have advanced to a point where almost all devices will be powered without physical connections. Homes and offices will be using wireless energy transfer, making cords and cables a thing of the past. What do you think about that? I think that's a spicy boy. Oh, my voice is getting a bit, what do you call it? What's it called when you get like this kind of a voice? The kind of gravelly voice. I actually can't remember what you call this. Anyway, husky. Yeah, that's the one, Daisy, yeah. Wireless technology will have advanced to a point where almost all devices will be powered without physical connections. Homes and offices will be using wireless energy transfer. This is what happens when you drink a lot of coffee. It's not good for you, by the way, to have a husky voice. Don't try. It probably means you're frying your vocal cords. So what do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about wireless technology will advance to a point where almost all devices will be powered without physical connections? What do you think? Yeah, Manuel says it's perfectly achievable. Really? Perfectly achievable? Sleepwalker says, not everything that happens in the past is bad or necessary. Something from the past will remain. Interesting. Interesting. Wireless technology, folks. Spicy comment from Ashley Chen. Can't accept those kind of comments, Ashley. Sorry, appreciated, but I'm afraid I cannot accept comments of that kind. I am a taken man. I'm taken. And very happy about it. Okay, I'm very happy about it. I think the modern physics is in the crisis and can't improve. That's interesting. Can't improve. I wonder why Manuel thinks it will happen. Why do you think it will happen, Manuel? You say you're talking about it's perfectly achievable. How do they do it? Using like magnetic transfer or something? Manuel says, by the year 2050, we can have a wireless coffee without a cup. What is that? Okay. Right, I feel like we're going off the rails here. So I'm just going to delete all that. And then there's the script. And I'm going to paste what's-its. Going to paste the notes here in the chat. Notes from today. Bong. So you can download the notes from today right now. Oh, did I already put the link? I don't remember doing that, but okay. Apparently the link was down below the video all along. Interesting. And Julia says, I beg to differ. And Manuel says, you don't need to beg. Beg to differ is okay, Manuel. It's a nice way to say that you disagree. I beg to differ. Its advancement won't reciprocate with that existence. I don't understand your second sentence, Julia, but I beg to differ is good. Rich, my neighbours are singing karaoke. Do you want to hear it? Not particularly. Distant power transmission is the most difficult issue to develop. Interesting. So Alexander thinks it's probably not going to happen. Great. Oh, yeah. So other ways to talk about the future. We're not gonna explore this in detail, but I did think it was worth mentioning in this stream that there are many other ways to talk about the future, not only will. So you can also use gonna, present simple, present continuous, past tenses, and modals. So take a look at those. Take a look at the examples. If you would like any further explanation of those, you can ask. Kat says, how long are you going to teach? I'm pretty much... We're coming to the end, Kat. We're just going to look at homework and then questions and then wrap up. Ashley says, I do believe people can take a pill and never feel hungry in the nearby future. Maybe that could happen. Maybe that will happen. By 2050, we'll have developed a pill that means people won't get hungry. It would be nice, wouldn't it, to cure world hunger? Right, so that's the other ways of talking about the future. You can digest that. And we're moving on to questions. Any questions you have about learning English? And then after questions, we will look at the homework. So, Any questions? Type your questions in the chat right now, and if we don't have any questions, I will move right on to homework. Manuel says, I was blah, 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 use the present for talking about future, blah, blah, blah. Yes, what is Black Friday? Black Friday is a marketing gimmick for selling stuff. It comes from the United States, and it was related to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a family gathering in the United States where people get together and eat turkey and exchange presents. And Black Friday, I think, was the Friday after Thanksgiving. That's where you have sales on particularly technology. So that's what Black Friday is. It's just a marketing thing. What's that, Takeshi? How to pronounce that sound? Just to clarify, Takeshi. Let's just grab that. Just to clarify here. Do you mean the suffix THS? Do you mean that as a suffix? Like, for example, in that and other words like that. Is that what you mean? You can just confirm that in the chat that that's what you mean. Right, you do mean that. Okay, great. So, the reality is there are more than one way. There's more than one way to pronounce that suffix. So let's go through these and see what we get. Okay, something like that, right? Okay, so we got baths. So we got th, 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 baths. And if you want the phonemics there, that's bonk like that. We've got lengths, lengths, th, th, lengths. And that's just the unvoiced version. Depths, strengths, widths. That's that one. Months, months, months. Interesting. That's actually that one. What's that? Breaths. Wealths. Truths, 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 truths. Let me just think about that. Truth, truths, truths, truths. It's interesting because for truths, I think the correct pronunciation is that. However, you could get away with that. Truths, truths. So truths is correct, but you could say truths, like that. Months, sixth. That's really difficult to say sixth with an S on the end. Sixth. Sixth. Baths, yeah. So something like that to guess you. I hope that helps. Basically, you've got the voiced and unvoiced form. The voiced form is z, and the unvoiced form is th. Alexander says, Dear Rich, I know 2 channels, Adrian and Bob. Did you mean one of them? Yes. Yes, I did. Bob. I'm talking about Bob. I quite like Bob. Adrian's all right. Hi, Adrian, by the way. Yeah, Adrian's all right. But I really respect what Adrian does. But I've seen a few videos by Bob that I thought were pretty good. Yeah. I think Bob knows what he's talking about. To be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of other people's videos though, so I couldn't really tell you. I'd be quite happy to. If someone wants to send me a video from another tuber teacher that they think is really good, then by all means, I'm happy to analyze it, give my thoughts. As you all know, I'm incredibly modest and humble. And I'm incredibly modest and humble to say that I am a expert in English language teaching and learning and teaching teachers. And so I am quite confident about analysing and talking about other people's teaching. But I do accept that there's more than one way to skin a cat. Sleepwalker says, Rich, who can we describe as expectant? If a person is waiting in queues, for example, how do we call him or her? How would we only use expectant? You can talk about someone who's in anticipation being expectant. Like expectant crowds or, expectant children awaiting Christmas. It's like this kind of state of being excited and awaiting, We could even have an expectant mother or expectant parents to people who are awaiting the birth of their new child. We could use expectant. So that's not how I would describe someone waiting in a queue. I would probably describe that person as someone who's waiting in a queue. I know that seems a little bit boring, but that is probably what I do. Where are the people who are what would you call them? The waiters? No. Give me a moment. Yeah, I don't think we have a noun for that in English. Certainly not a very useful one. Just someone who's waiting. And to be honest with you, the alternatives for expectant are not brilliant either. Let me have a think here. Yeah, there's nothing particularly anticipatory, but that's basically expectant. Yeah, not very helpful. So yeah, we don't really have a noun or an adjective as far as I can tell. If you're trying to translate something from your own language, what you find is that very often there's not a one-to-one translation. And it can well be that you have to use a phrase to describe a single noun in a different situation. Daisy says, Rich, the majority of stars mark up the price before Black Friday. Yeah, exactly. And you can see that. If you search Google for Price Spy Amazon, you can have a look at the graph and you can see in June, it's very low. And then October, they bump the price. November, they take it down for the sale. Kat says, Dear sir, how do we pronounce the word etc.? Etc. Romelia says, I was under the impression that natives usually, in the plural, like clothes, skip the TH and pronounce it with a Z. Clothes. Yeah, I would say that's correct, Romelia. And I did represent that with truths. So, yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, the thing is about waiter, sleepwalker, is that is true. So waiter can mean someone who waits. But unfortunately, or fortunately, as the term waiter is so heavily used for the job of someone who serves you at a restaurant, then it's not a good idea to use that for someone who waits. Can you pronounce that word a little slower? Etc. 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 And Manuel Gordillo says something to someone else. So let's move on. Homework. So this was the homework assignment for last week. What's going on with this? I've got a deadline here of next week. That's not true. Oh, right. Sorry, I need to give you some homework. Haha. Let's have some homework, folks. Have a think about the year 2100. What do you think it'll be like? Record a 3-minute audio and send it to me on our Discord server. You can use Google Images for research if you want. Try to talk about really wild, creative ideas which seem totally out there and not at all down to earth or normal. Be unpredictable in your predictions. All right, so that is our homework for next week. That's our homework for next week, okay? So good luck with that. And now we can have a look at our homework from last week. So this was the homework from last week, and we are going to listen to the submissions that we have here. I have 6 submissions for us to listen to. So we'll take a look at those. I'm just posting the homework for today on our Discord server. Rich, why do you prefer Discord to WhatsApp? Loads of reasons. Discord has way more features than WhatsApp. With WhatsApp, you have to compromise people's phone numbers. So that would mean that weird people might start phoning up Pavia or Daisy because they get their phone number from a WhatsApp group. And that's a problem that I don't want to deal with. So we are not going to have a WhatsApp group ever. And we will not go back to Skype. The community is on Discord now. That's it. If you don't want to use Discord, that's fine. You don't have to. But yeah, if you want to join, it's on Discord. On Discord, it can be anonymous. It's safe. It's moderated. Yeah. And we had some issues on Skype, actually. One of our members got just attacked by a random person on our Skype group. And that was really the final message I needed to say, right, we're done with this and we're moving to Discord. Because, you know, once you associate yourself with something, you take some responsibility for making that a welcoming environment and a safe environment. And hey, everyone who knows me knows I'm a big libertarian. You know, I'm all about people's freedoms and all the rest of it. But I acknowledge that when you create a space like that, you've got to have some sort of control over it. And Discord allows us quite a lot of control. Actually, a lot of control. We're on Discord. So yeah, it's good. So, this is the homework from last week. I'm going to have a listen. We'll start with this person. So, who's this person? I don't know who this is. Oh, it's Elena. Let's have a listen to Elena's submission.
Hello, Rich. Hello, everyone. Language learning has some positive effects on our brain. I'd like to explain the following infographic. Researchers highlight several points connected with learning on language. It affects on our brain in every age, but the most effects it has especially in youth and adulthood. On this infographic we can see that bilingual students do better tests in math, reading, etc. Bilingual children develop mental flexibility and memory. Likewise, in the cognitive aspect, bilingual students outperform monolingual students. Knowing another language is also beneficial for our career. It means college success and higher earnings. Positive effects also include better recovery of brain function after a stroke. Some information of this infographic was new for me, and I agree with these statements. Thank you so much.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Elena, for that. It was really interesting. And here's a couple of corrections for you there. So we're going to start with some excellent vocabulary that I heard her use there. So there's some great phrases for you to take away from that. If you want to listen to that again, then you can just go backwards on the video and have a listen to that. We've got cognitive aspect, outperform, higher earnings, and the positive effects also include. And then talking about corrections, so we had this statement here where she said, some information of this infographic was new for me. Just a very minor correction there. We're just going to zap that, and we're going to replace it with in this infographic, and that's it. So, well done, Elena. It was really cool and excellent. This homework was actually a really good homework, wasn't it? Quite proud about that. Encouraging people to do some research, talk about things they're interested in. It's wonderful. All right, so moving on. This looks like a Julia Qatar situation, I think.
Let me straight into a topic of bilingual adaptation and learning English as a second language for non-native speakers. First and foremost, learning English in an office setting bestows a narrative of multifaceted benefits upon its adept user, elevating cognitive prowess, fostering effective communication, and catalyzing cultural exchange on a global scale. In the realm of global communication, English acts as a unifying force, breaking down linguistic barriers and fostering cross-cultural understanding. There are four key elements such as problem-solving skill, creative thinking, cognitive flexibility, and neuroplasticity. While neuroplasticity serves as the foundation for the rest key elements, there might be a controversial and slippery topic between the existence of good or bad memory like is sick and trained or untrained brain. In addition to soundbites, one of the most beneficial ways is 80-20 rule, in which we focus 80% on interesting things and 20% on nitty-gritties or nuts and bolts of things. The name of the game is to improve our memory. And it is as easy as by using place, image, and drawing method. Another plain sailing method is hear, see, feel, visualize it along with gratitude. On top of that, gratitude rewires our nervous system for peace and performance.
Yeah, that's a fan.
All the evidence suggests that the bilingual adaptation brings us the advantages such as delayed cognitive aging, dementia, Alzheimer's disease, improved memory and concentration, fitter of distraction if we write down to all the facts. In essence, it emerges as a cornerstone for intellectual development, professional success, and global harmony, weaving together a tapestry of benefits that extend far beyond the boundaries of linguistic proficiency.
Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So really cool there to have a whole selection of different things from Julia. And moving on to benefits, the positive points there. First and foremost, learning English in and of itself as the foundation for a memory like a sieve. The 80-20 rule, the name of the game is it's as easy as pie, and in essence, a nice way of summarising something. I'm not going to bang on about this, Julia. Your area for improvement is sentence stress. So if I'll just give a quick example here. If we take like this, so the way that you say this is like our memory like a sieve. That's how you say it. Our memory like a sieve. And you need to change the way you speak like that to say like a memory like a sieve. Right? So you definitely don't want to pause or stress the articles and pronouns and stuff. I realize it'll be an ongoing process. You're not going to change that overnight because it probably comes from your first language. So it's what we call language interference from your first language. It's totally fine. You sound perfectly clear. I'm just giving you an option there for something to work on. So sentence stress, hit the keywords, a memory like a sieve. A memory like a sieve. And actually the strongest, what you could do is look at phrases and highlight the most important word in each phrase. And then go through a whole script and underline the most important word in every sentence. And then try to say the whole script, stressing that word the most. Right? A memory like a sieve. First and foremost, learning English in and of itself, look at how I say that. Learning English in and of itself, not learning English in and of itself. No. Learning English in and of itself, right? So play with that. Loads of excellent vocabulary. If anything, actually, maybe a few too many idioms, you know, like the name of the game is, and then the very next sentence, it's as easy as pie. So really quite a lot of idioms. In essence, I like to hear that. Thank you, Julia. It was wonderful. Let's move on now to... Who's this? Is this Anawat or Vladimir? Let's have a look. I think this must be Vladimir. It is. All right, let's have a listen then. Vladimir.
We can see photo demonstration that brain magnetic resonance imaging shows that learning a language improves cortical thickness, a layered mass of neurons largely responsible for thought, language, consciousness, memory. Also grows in hippocampus, and action area of the cerebral cortex. The resulting goal is to interact with environment better. The word hippocampus highlighted with orange color, the cortex word highlighted with red. The infographic shows figures of two people. Their brain parts are also highlighted with orange and red color, with the bubbles of dialogues near them. A phrase learning a language improved cortical thickness is bold. Thought represented as two gears. Language as an orange dialogue bubble. Consciousness as a red eye, and the memory as an open scalp.
Awesome. An open scalp. All right. Really fantastic. Well done, Vladimir. That's some amazing vocabulary there. I don't think... Is that how you spell hippocampus? It's not exactly the most common word in the world, is it? There we go. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a depiction of where the hippocampus actually is. And the cerebral cortex is the outside of the brain, is it? That's interesting. So the cerebral cortex outside the brain, and then the hippocampus is kind of this wormy thing in the middle. Brilliant. High language skills are linked to growth in the hippocampus and areas of the cerebral cortex. Sounds pretty good, right? Yeah. We all want a bigger hippocampus. So loads of really great vocabulary there. Hippocampus, cortical thickness, cerebral cortex. The resulting goal to interact with the environment better and highlighted in yellow. I liked that. Nice. And an open scalp, he said when describing the picture. So good job there. And pronunciation. How do you say that, Vladimir? Consciousness. 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 Right, well done. That was Vladimir. Let's move on. This is Mr. Watt. Sir Anu.
G'day, mate. How's it going?
Good day, mate. You're the second person who said good day, mate, today. Was that Sleepwalker person said that as well? What's going on with the good day, mate? Is it like International Australia Day?
Today, let's explore a journey of learning a language and how it's really good for your brain across different stages of life. So, let's get started. In this circle infographic, in the first sector, when you are young, learning a language helps with your tastes. It makes you smart, and not just that, it also teaches you important life skills and makes your brain work better. Like, you become more thoughtful and gain a better understanding of things. Now, when you are all grown up, speaking another language is like a superpower for jobs. It helps you have a great career, earn more money, and find jobs easily. Learning a language is like your secret weapon for work success. It opens doors to a world of opportunities. And guess what? When you are older, acquiring a new language is like a magic spell for your brain's health. A bilingual brain keeps your brain strong, helps you get better from cognitive challenges, and makes you live longer and happier. To sum it up, learning a language is a lifelong investment in the well-being of our brains. It is like a big gift to your brain. It makes you smart when you are young, gives you a golden ticket to all the opportunities in academic and career fields, and keeps you healthy and happy when you are really, really old. Cool, right? Thanks a bunch for listening and enjoy your language learning journey.
All right, thank you very much for that, Anawat. Let's take a little look at some corrections. So let's explore the journey of wonderful across different stages of life. Fantastic. In the first sector. Nice. I like that. And it'd be nice if I spelled across right. And not just that, it also, very good, is like a superpower 4. Very good. It opens doors to a world of opportunities and the well-being of our brains. Great. Moving on there to career fields. So we don't actually say career fields. Academic fields, yes. Career fields, no. Different careers is what you're talking about. Not career fields. That's it. All right, thank you, Anna. That was very, very well formulated, very well pronounced, excellent vocabulary as usual, and not too many idioms to sound a bit weird. So Anawats sounds perfectly normal in the way that he uses phrases. Great. Loads of great language there for people to take away. And that leaves us with 2 more. First of all, we've got Mr. Gordillo, who did not provide me with an infographic. So I have absolutely no idea what he's going to talk about. Who knows? Could be anything. And I can't seem to get this to do what I want it to do either. Bloody thing. No, you're not going to play ball. Got you. Great, so let's have a look. What's Mr. Gordillo got to say to us today? 4 minutes? You've got 2 minutes.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, all my dear peers. Today, the homework is talking about how works pretty much our brain when we are learning different language. First of all, the brain of the man, the women, or the women is different, absolutely. Although there are many similarities between men and women, sex can make a difference. Some health risks and behavior, for example, the depression for women and some.
Here we go, folks. Manuel's trying to get me banned off YouTube by talking about the differences between men and women's brains.
Sometimes the man is more called to the honesty. Well, I am explaining in short how work the brain in a man. In a man, the brain is like a big box, and there is a little box. Then when the man starts a conversation, it's like a mouse and open a mouse and you get open. For example, we are talking about the football, okay, and open the door of the football, and the man started to talk about the football, and then they close the door. We are talking with the woman about the child. The mouse opened the door of the family and start. And the question is you open the brain of the woman, there is the same box. But when the women started to speaking, to talk with them, started to open all the doors, all the mouths is like running away in order to open all the words, like a mix. So this is different when you are talking with a woman, with this jumping into the talking about the family, with jumping into that the friend is going to get divorced. Well, I'm sorry because for my pair man, because for learning language, is the brain of the woman is absolutely increasing than the man. It is because the structure, the brain is the same and divided into hemispheres, but the women is divided in several hemispheres, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are expert, for example, in analytic language, and the man is always better for visual and auditive. No, me? Question. So, the brain started to work perfectly from you are a child. Have three cousins that they father immigrants at the time to German. Okay? Then they were born in German. So there is two native. They are immersion in the language, the language from German, and the language from Spain. But at the same time, they were studying in the school the English. So currently, my cousin speak perfectly English, German, and Spanish. So the answer is you need to learn language. Your brain works fantastic when you are a child. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and see you soon.
Thank you, Manuel. That was very informative to hear your scientific, 100% accurate explanation of the brains of men and women. Brilliant. We are all enlightened from this conversation. I love it. So I think what you were saying is when men talk, they focus on a single topic, but when women talk, they talk about many different topics. I think something like that. Interesting. Yeah, let's have a look at the language. Structure of the brain is the same. Very good. Divided into hemispheres. Oh, like it. I'm explain how the brain of the man. I'm explain how work the brain of the man. No, I'm going to explain how the brain of the man works. There's your correction. I'm sorry for my peer man. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for my fellow man. And then I have three cousins who at the time their father were immigrants from Germany. I just didn't understand that. I think you meant to say I have a cousin whose father is from Germany and blah blah blah. Just simplify it, okay? It's too complicated. Great. So there's some corrections for you, Manuel. I hope that helps. And yeah, just really fascinating. It's just he's a fascinating man, Mr. Gordillo. Has some very interesting things to say, and we would all like to join him for a café con leche in Tenerife one day. If a man, they're talking about talk about how the film no diversions allowed, but women speak about many different topics. Daisy, do you agree? All right. Now we move on to Daisy, actually, which is apt. And the homework from Daisy is actually from last week. So the homework from last week was, which topics are your favourite topics about English which I've never talked about? So that's what we'll be listening to, Daisy, from last week. Let's have a listen.
Hi Rich, can you dedicate one class to talk about your experience with Vietnamese food, particularly Hanoi food? What was your favorite food besides noodles and bread? I'm aware that the majority of foreigners are keen on eating noodles and bread because the broth is so flavorful and aromatic, while a baguette filled with pad thai, fried eggs, ham, cilantro, thinly sliced cucumbers is irresistible. I'm also curious to know about your experience with fresh sauce. Did you get used to the flavor of fresh sauce immediately, or did you struggle at first? A dish is largely based on fresh sauce, and as you can see in every Vietnamese household, a meal is incomplete without a bowl of fresh sauce on the tray because people usually dip boiled vegetable and meat in it to make it more flavorful. And lastly, have you ever tried to create fusion cuisine from British and Vietnamese food? To be honest, I used to try to create shepherd pie based on recipes that I called from the internet, but I added a little twist to it. And I used fresh sauce and MSG to marinate the meat, and I didn't use cheese because cheese doesn't go well with fresh sauce. The taste is gross. But anyway, my dish turned out to be quite good. Alright, that's my request. See you again soon.
That's interesting, Daisy. Do you like cooking? So, kind of a rather extensive use of food-related vocabulary from Daisy there. It's quite interesting to hear you do that. Dedicate a class to something. Thinly sliced cucumbers. Fusion cuisine. Add a little twist to it. Marinate the meat. And cheese doesn't go well with fish sauce. No, cheese does not go well with fish sauce. That is for sure. Cheese goes well with a lot of stuff. It does not go well with fish sauce. Fusion cuisine, yes. Did you get used to the fish sauce in Vietnam? Did you struggle at first? I love fish sauce, so yeah, no problem for me. Yeah, I really like fish sauce. The only problem with fish sauce for me is I like it too much and it has lots of sugar in it. So it's bad for me because sugar is not very healthy. So yeah, but I do like fish sauce. And you want me to do a class about, what was it, about getting used to Vietnamese food, or about Vietnamese food in general, or about world cuisine? I feel like I've done world cuisine, but we could definitely do something like that. Could be quite interesting. Just a slight correction with the majority of foreigners. It's not wrong to say the majority of foreigners, but I would just say most foreigners. Just a bit more common to just do that. So you drop the and drop of and replace majority with most. That's it. So not, instead of the majority of foreigners, just most foreigners, for the most. The best. Yeah, something like that. You can't go wrong with fish sauce, says Anouat. Yeah, I would imagine so. Well, you can go wrong with it, but it's nice. What is fish sauce? Made of fish? It sounds weird. Fish sauce is very popular in Vietnam and Thailand and Cambodia and some other countries. And I believe it's made from boiling the bones of fish. Make it like a fish broth and then concentrate it. So it tastes quite strongly of fish. And then normally what you do is you make a little dip, a fish sauce dip with sugar. So you dilute the fish sauce and you put sugar in it. And then you dip things in it. So you dip your spring rolls or whatever. And also you can use fish sauce as a base for noodle soup and other things. But yeah, fish sauce is good. I can eat fish sauce even though I don't eat fish. Well, Kat, you say but try it, because until you try it, you don't know. Don't buy it yourself from a shop. Go to a restaurant and get Vietnamese spring rolls or something and try it. Preferably in Vietnam, because actually a lot of the Vietnamese restaurants in the UK are not good. You can get good ones, probably in London, but most of the ones outside of London are a bit dodgy, honestly. Yeah, I miss Vietnamese food when I'm not in Vietnam. Thai cuisine goes well with fish sauce, it does. Fish sauce goes well with lots of stuff. It goes well with chicken, pork. Goes well with crunchy spring rolls. Goes well with soft spring rolls. Goes well with noodles. Yeah, goes quite well with meatballs as well. Quite like meatballs with fish sauce. Anyway, well, that brings us to the end of our class, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. As always, do like, share, subscribe. My name has been Teacher Rich, and I would like to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful day, wonderful weekend. Thank you very much for joining me. Next stream will be on Wednesday at 3 p.m. UK. Join our Discord. The link's in the chat. Bye for now, folks. Have a lovely day.